Harry, thank you very much, first of all, for inviting us to your house and letting us do this. It's an absolute privilege for myself and for Doncaster Rovers. First of all, you signed for Doncaster in 1952 by Peter Doherty. As we were just talking, you call him Peter the Great. Was he a massive influence on you signing for Doncaster Rovers?
Incredible influence, because what I didn't know was, what I didn't know, or what people don't know, Sheffield Wednesday made an offer of 18,000. And I, being a young Irish fella, wanted to do well. I went to see the boss. In those days you were, and I'm being serious, I'm not telling tales, subservient. I went up and knocked the door and said, boss, I'm told that Sheffield Wednesday have been in touch. I will send for you. I will say to you where you're going, and you're good enough. You're not going there. You'll go when I say you're going to the right place. I thought I've made a terrible mistake here. And he basically said, get out of my office. And that was it. And then a short time later, I felt like in those days, believe it or not, I had an agent. Me from 34 Windsor Avenue. I had an agent, and I was told that Manchester United were interested in me. And I went to see the boss again. He said, I've told you before, I will tell you so and so and so and so and so and so. And eventually I remember the signing. I had to go to another house, somebody else's house, Peter's house. And two men turned up. Now the boss, I swear to you, I'm not playing it down or playing a film star. You were subservient. When they said you jumped, no, even me, a head case like me. And these two gentlemen turned up in this car. And I'm at Peter's house. I'm trying to remember where it was too. It was a grand house too, from in those days, poor, you know. And these two men came in, Matt Busby, and this is coming into my head now, factual. Peter the Great, and I keep saying that, said, Matt, the boy's ready to sign. Now remember, Sheffield Wednesday had offered 18,000, and in fairness to Matt Busby, he said, hold on a minute, Peter, hold on a minute, hold on, I want to speak to the boy. And he said to me, do you want to join Manchester United? Well, that was the young Manchester United, the Busby Babes, all young. And I said yes. And he said, hold on a minute, hold on. We don't pay any money, meaning. And I've said over the years, I'm going off on a slight tangent, I'd said over the years, if I'd have been born a rich man, I'd have paid 25,700 to join the team that I joined, because I travelled with, I think it was Bill Patton or something, we travelled in the train to Manchester, and I stood on the Stretford end at Manchester as a Doncaster player and watched this team, and it was like Hollywood. And got the train back, and never thought later on I'd be transferred there. I was transferred for a repeat 25,700, and I'm repeating it now. If I'd have been born a rich man, I would have paid that money to join what I eventually joined. That's the true story.
When you were 18, you signed for Doncaster. You came from Coleraine,
yes.
And then it was a big move. What was it like at the age of 18 to sign for a club like Rovers and come over to England?
It was Hollywood. I came from a house on a side street where my father had done a runner and left 6 of us. That's me. I'm basically giving you down to earth truth. A wonderful mother, a father who, and repeat, did a runner. Nearly ruined my life later on. And I was a film star in Diggsway. Let me tell you a lovely story how far Doncaster Rovers were ahead of the rest of the world. Peter would not allow, funny like Matt Busby after him, would not allow any discussion after a game because there was too much emotion. and excitement, and you could finish up with a punch-up. And he said, we'll talk about it on Monday. And let me tell you a fantastic story. You're there on the Monday, and you're sitting there, and I'm 18, 19, and I'm thinking, oh, I hope I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, Jesus, I hope. Really and truly, schoolboys. And we had a full-back, Lenny Graham. Brian Makepeace at right back, who would have kicked a hole. Brian was a local. And Lenny Graham, all right-footer, who played left back from Ireland. And this is terribly important. I'm sitting there thinking, oh, please, I hope I played well on Saturday. That's not a lie. Leonard, well spoken, Peter. Leonard, you look great on Saturday, son. Yes, boss. Lovely right foot, lovely right foot. Played the ball to one side, looked up, and proceeded to kick the ball. Yes, boss. Leonard, the nearest player in the opposition to you was 25 yards away. If you had run at him, he might have run away from it. If he didn't run away from you, you pushed the ball past him and he's out of the game. The man was a genius, I swear. He was preaching then. I mean, he was preaching then. And the people who played, Jackie Teasdale, Lenny Graham, Brian Makepeace, oh, tell you what, he was hard. Oh God, he was hard. All those lads, and you know the favourite, Charlie. Charlie.
Well, talk to us about Charlie. What was he like in a dressing room? I was saying to you before, he mentioned in his book that you, him and Alec Jeffrey were like the three musketeers.
Charlie, no, I don't have to say things. Charlie Williams was one of the most... Did you know that Charlie Williams was one of three brothers that were fostered? To me, those things are very important. His other brother was ran the Olympics. You know that? Flying machine. Charlie was the most beautiful fella, I repeat. In the dressing room, and the boss was great. Charles! But the saddest thing for Charlie was when Alec broke his leg. Alec Jeffries was, let nobody kid you. I mean, I've been lucky enough to see the beginning of George Best and be very close to those people, and I'm not using names. Alec Jeffries, he was in the first team at 17 years of age, am I right? Yeah. Terrific kid. By the way, terrific singer. Beautiful singer. Things come back to me now. You're talking about the beginning. I'm talking too quick. Great. Jackie Teasdale, Bobby Herbert. I can say them all now. But Charlie in the dressing room was brilliant. I think I've told you about, if I've told you, stop me, Swansea, we played Swansea Town on the Friday and beat them. We had to go to Liverpool we had to play Liverpool on the Saturday. I'm sure it was Roy Brown. We beat them 1-0 at Bellevue, Doncaster, and they wrecked the boardroom windows. Liverpool crowds travelled in those days. People forget Liverpool were in the second division. Yes, they were. And we had to go on Monday and play them at Anfield. And we beat them again. And man, that's the way life is. We had to lie down in the bus. I'm not even knocking Liverpool. We had to lie down in the bus, and they broke every window in the bus getting out. I was lucky enough to make it a bit further on in life. Those days are as fresh to me and as good to me. My beginning is every bit as important as what it was in the end as well. No, Doncaster Rovers very much part of my life.
Can you remember your debut then? You played a certain Blackburn Rovers. It was a 3-3 draw.
Yes.
And
was Johnny Carey not the manager of Blackburn Rovers?
Most possibly well, will, yeah. But the most significant part of that game was you dislocated your elbow.
Jeez, I do.
On your debut.
I do. That's right. and had it put back in the what? You brought some. They put it back. What did you call the physio? Big Jack Hodgson was the trainer. Huge, big fella. What do you call the physio? They put it back, we know, and two people holding on to me, and them swing me round the room, and then they left me sitting in my arse in the cold watching the rest of the game.
Yeah, because I've read a passage in your autobiography that in those days you had to wait until the end of the game before you could
take me to the hospital.
Yeah.
And when we got, that's right, I swear to you something. If I'm talking too much, tell me. When we got to the hospital, we had to wait, sitting there wait. I'm sitting freezing. I'd been freezing watching the rest of the bloody game. And we're in the hospital, and what was the words a man used? The specialist. I can tell you exactly. How did they reduce it? And they told him how, it's when we were in the medical room, he said you may have destroyed the boy's elbow for life. And I thought, oh Jesus, happy birthday, that is there. That's just true. I can see that hospital up on the hill to this day. Who reduced it? And they told him, he said, no anaesthetic, you may have ruined the boy's life. And I thought, happy birthday, yeah, that's good now. Yeah. But Ali Jeffries, those are important people in my life. Charlie Williams, and I think without repeating myself, I don't want to repeat myself, Charlie and Alec going to Australia. You know that, don't you? And when Charlie got to the boat, they wouldn't let him, they wouldn't take him. I don't have to exaggerate. When Charlie played, he'd go and head the ball out for a throw in, and then come flying. I'd say, Charlie, what's that bloody centre forward? Never mind the fellow. All right, me old flower. Good. I don't have to exaggerate. Good, wonderful people. Peter the Great, Jackie Teasdale, the little left winger that they signed from Middlesbrough. He couldn't tackle a fish supper, but he could play. Oh Christ, Brian Makepeace, local lad. He came from Armthorpe. Am I right? Yes, it's coming back to me now. Lenny Graham, all right-sided, but played left back because Brian was harder at right back. Those are... By the way, Jackie Teasdale, there's something for you, the little wing half. He was picked for to go, you know that, don't you? And finished up getting hurt. Jackie Teasdale. There was more meat in my one finger. What a good player he was. What a good player. Bobby Herbert, the Scotsman. Know who the hardest man was? I don't know if you've gotten down there. Arthur Eadie. By Jesus, was he a hard man. But that's when I grew out. We were playing golf, which I hated. I just wanted to play football. And we were playing golf. And we were on the green. And this ball came down. It was Arthur. By God, he was a big hard man. And that's when I grew up. He came down and he started. And I said, I tell you what, don't you go too far. Teddy boy coat. I can see him now. Teddy boy trouser, big hand. By God, he was a hard fella. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll wrap that golf club round that. That's when I grew up. I loved Arthur. Years later I met him. I tell you what, there was very few could handle Arthur Eadie at centre forward. Bobby Herbert, he was repeat another one. Jackie Teasdale, they're good memories for me. Yeah, great.
What was it like then playing in a team like that? Obviously, because you said you had big characters in the dressing room, such as Charlie and such as Alec, and you say that Peter as well, the manager, was the greatest thing to come out of Ireland. What was it like being in that team at that time?
To be part of that team would be part of what Peter brought up then, and repeat, it was always boss. It was always boss. He did so much and he loved the players. He was so great with the players. And I swear to you, they worshipped him. The players, I'm trying to think of one fella that tried to be clever. and he put him in his place. You know, things come back to you, you know, while we're talking. It's a long time ago, but yeah, Alex Jeffries, Charlie Williams, Charlie Williams, he did. I'm not going off a tangent for the sake of it. Charlie Williams did so well in life. You know, I was so glad for him after that terrible slap back that he had when they wouldn't let him go to Australia because of the colour. Yeah, yeah. And sadly, Alec with a broken leg, Bobby Herbert, Bill was a film star. I swear to you, Bill was a film. I think I've gone over it again now. I was in digs with Bill, and he was a big, smart hand from Kinloch's Leaving. That's where he came from. And can you imagine today? He's got me in the digs with olive oil rubbing his legs and massaging them. I'll tell you what, a few years later, where was Bill transferred to? Where was he? He was transferred for a fortune, and he only got about 5 games because he was a film star. Oh, I think he was transferred to Rangers. But it was a good time in my life.
You talked about, obviously, Ken Hardwick as well, the goalkeeper, in the first couple of seasons. Was it frustrating for you, playing as a bit of an understudy in the first few years?
No,
or were you just learning your trade?
No. Can I tell you, Kenny Hardwick and I were friends, believe it or not. But believe it or not, Kenny had actually worked, to a young man that you wouldn't have worked in a pit. Kenny was nowhere near as tall as me. I would be 6'1.5", 13.5 stone eventually, not at that time. Kenny had 4 arms. You had never seen the light in your life because you know when they worked down the pit. And Kenny and I were good friends. There was no bad feeling between us. I was glad to be there. I mean, I was honestly glad to be, and that's not me being a nice person, glad to be there and be involved. I'm going to make it. I'm in England, and I'm playing with Doncaster Rovers, and yeah, good. Listen, the Hall of Fame, Jackie Teasdale, I'm telling you, very, 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 very good player. I was thinking the outside left, Jeff Walker, the bottom from Middlesbrough, I think. I tell you what, Jeff had a heart like a caraway seed, but he could play. Those good times for me. Good times. Good time, great man.
During your early years at Rovers as well, you were called up to represent Northern Ireland as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Was it a tremendous privilege to be called up to play for your country?
I'm going to tell you about a beautiful man, nothing to do with what we're talking about now. Before I left this country, I was picked to play for the Irish League against the English League. And I could nearly go through the English League team. Gil Merrigan, goals, all people long before your time. Tom Finney, Jack Rowley, the Gunner Rowley, all them. The score was the Irish League 0, the English League 9. I went out to work in the dark as a young apprentice. I didn't want anybody to see me. I was ashamed. And when eventually, this is a beautiful story about a beautiful, beautiful man. The captain of that English League team was a man called Billy Wright, the great Billy Wright of Wolves. And when I walked out at Wembley, Billy Wright was the captain of the English team, and he walked back to me, you know what he said? "You've come a long way, son." Now, me at my age, I'm tears nearly coming there. Billy Wright was a beautiful man. When that man stooped to come to me and say, "You've come a long way, son," from 9-0 Irish League against English League, and make it to Wembley. Yeah, those are nice memories about nice people.
You left Rovers obviously towards just before the end of the 1950s to join, as you said, Manchester United. What was it like for you? Was it a bit of a whirlwind moment for you to move from Doncaster to Manchester United? And be the most expensive goalkeeper at the time for a transfer fee.
Yeah. I think I said earlier, Sheffield Wednesday had offered 18,000 and Peter the Great. Let me tell you a lovely story about Doncaster. I got into the first team, but I broke 2 fingers. And they had to leave me out because I was injured. Now this is unbelievable. And Kenny got back into goals again. And I went up the stairs to the boss and said, "Boss, I'm fit to play." He said, "You are not fit to play." I said, "I'm fit to play." What did he do? He put me in the reserve team. This is frightening. And I had to go and play at Bradford Park Avenue in the reserve team. And I went there very uptight, and the centre forward gave me some trouble and I bust him. And I mean, I really, you're young and daft. I hit him hard and he was carried off. I was told that the Ginger Tom, Peter the Great, we called him the Ginger Tom because the Red Hair, wanted to see me. Can I tell you, if I'm boring you, stop me. He said, "You are a hooligan." And he got up his, "And you will be paying this boy's wages." I was on £7.10 a week. I had to pay £2.10 digs to Mrs. Rhodes. I can remember where we were in digs at. You will pay this boy's wages until he is fit to play." And then he pulled his chair up, pushed it onto the desk, walked to the cupboard. I'm ashamed now telling you. Closed the cupboard door, buttoned his blazer and said, "It's time somebody taught you a lesson." And I was so shy. I said, "Don't you start or you'll get it as well." And he went, "Get out of my office." You're mad. But what a wonderful, I don't want to talk about a bull. I was part of a very happy and a very good club at Doncaster Rovers. And Peter later went on and went to Bristol City, I think. The great Peter, he did. Yeah, great time. Charlie Williams got drunk last night.
You're reminiscing about your times at Rovers. What would you say, if you can remember, was your favourite game?
My favourite game? I think my favourite game would be, I'll tell you what it would be. It was a lucky one for me, apart from playing Liverpool in the 2nd Division. Bristol Rovers beat the great Manchester United. You can check this up. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Bristol Rovers beat the great Manchester United, and Doncaster Rovers drew Bristol Rovers. And I had one of them games when everything hit you and everything stuck. Can I?
Of course you can. Cool.
Everything stuck. And I had one of these great. But I tell you, I was playing so well, I thought, blow the whistle before I make a mistake. Everything stuck, and it so happened they had beaten the Busby Babes. And I think someone had been from United because of what happened with United, watching somebody at Bristol. And saw me. Yeah, and saw me. And the great Johnny Carey, a name maybe you wouldn't know, would you? The great Johnny Carey was, had to say as well, he had seen me play. He was, tell you a lovely story. He was manager for a short time at Blackburn Rovers or Blackburn Rovers. And I'll tell you a tragic story how life has changed. Johnny Carey was captain of Manchester United long before my time. And I was at a function. Many, many years later. And this great man, who was Ireland's greatest player, one of them, he came from Dublin, the Republic. And Johnny was at the function with me, and one of them dues. This is tragic. Where they said, will everyone put their hand in their pocket and take the largest denomination and put it in the envelope for so-and-so and so-and-so. The man who had recommended me, who had been captain of Manchester United, who fought in the British Army, although he came from Dublin. You know what he was doing? Reading meters, going round people's homes. And I remember saying, keep your hand in your pocket, you. Now, that's how much I'm trying to tell you about this great man who had a say in recommending me because he'd seen me play when he was with another club and seen me as a kid. Those are the things that stick in my mind about great people and people who had an influence on me, yeah. But Peter Doherty, Charlie, my old flower, I swear, imagine me at my age, I can laugh yet. God, my old flower, he could dance, he could sing.
In your book, like I said, I've read a couple of chapters. You talk about after your first season with Doncaster, you come back home and you go out and play football with some of your friends, and you broke your ankle.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of hot water when you came back?
What I did was, see, Peter lived not too far from originally where I came from, but I was across the field with the lads like I did. I was an international player and all that there, and a boy was giving my brother a bad time. So I decided to give this fella a bad time, and he gave me one, and he broke my ankle. I hobbled home. That's right. I forgot that. I'd hobbled home. My mother said to me, "Where have you been doing?" I said, I'm all right. Oh Christ, my leg blew up. Took me to the hospital and they said my ankle was broken. They put me in plaster. And I said, you can't. I'm a professional footballer, I've got to go back. So what I did was, anyway, they put me in plaster, and I was out kicking football with a plaster on. But eventually when I had to go back, that's when he gave me some stick. By Christ, he gave me some stick. I got hot water, put it in the bath, got a hacksaw and cut the whole off and strapped up and got back to Doncaster. And the ginger Tom sent for me. What's this I hear you've been so-and-so? I said, there's nothing wrong with me. You are going to the hospital for an x-ray. I remember the hospital was right up on the hill. And I went to the hospital. It was still broken. So he said, you will have a plaster put on. I hobbled for about 2 weeks and I thought, stuff that, I'm all right. Made a comeback. Okay, those are good memories, stupid memories. Do you know what that is? And all those people like me as well. You so badly wanted to be a player. £7.10 a week. £2.10 digs. Massaging Bill Patterson's leg. I was no film star, I can tell you. My time at United, for sadly the accident happened, I joined the Hollywood of football. There's no two ways about it. The people who I watched play at the Stretford End, when they paid me way in, repeating myself, if I'd have been born a rich man, I would have paid. I wouldn't have paid to get away from the great Peter. I wouldn't have done that at all. Now I should not be saying this. Alec Jeffreys, you know there was a fallout between Peter. Did you know that? Fallout between Peter and Matt because United are supposed to have tried to have tapped Alec. Did you know Alec was a great singer? Yeah, beautiful singer. Yeah. Well built for a kid, hey. Yeah, happy man. The Great North Road. Geez, I can see it now. It's not called Bellevue anymore, is it?
No, we changed to the Keepmoat Stadium in 2007.
Why is that?
I think it was just because the old ground was obviously been around for such a long time,
right,
that it was just better to build something new than rather build on some of the old thing.
I wonder how today's players would feel like coming out of the dressing room across the car park, jumping across the Great North Road and then having to go for a run.
What was it like playing at Bellevue for you? Like you said, you.
Well, do you know the history of Bellevue?
I've never seen it. No. It was
no.
A bit before my time.
It was the second biggest playing area in England, if not the first. because you know the size of pitches you get from, you could go to the minus and to the plus. Bellevue Doncaster was the most beautiful pitch that ever you've seen. It was never waterlogged. I think it was like where I came from here, a pitch here, built over a sandpit. Well, there was a sandpit there. Bellevue Doncaster. Now I can see the car park. I can see that the offices, and I could see the boardroom where there was a lean-to shed from the main stand. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, no bull. Wonderful times with wonderful people. No, I don't need bull. Bellevue Doncaster. God Almighty, good to me. Mrs. Rhodes. Do you know that one, don't you? Do you know the one about Mrs. Rhodes, our landlady? I was in Digby with a fellow called Paddy Gavin. Maybe the name rings a bell with you. And Paddy was a very devout Catholic. And we'd be at Mass more times than the Pope, and I'm not being funny when I say that. And Paddy, I can remember the landlord, Ernest lad. Paddy would be out, and one day I was, even been to Mass, missed his dinner, missed his tea, more Masses Paddy went to, but I took the top of our suite. Do you know this one? And I filled it full of mustard. Right, fill it full of mustard and put it back. Paddy, as usual, didn't come in. He went to evening Mass as well. And Ernest ate the sweet. You're out of here. Ernest is dying, he's broken up. So we get put out of the digs and we moved 4 doors up to a place called Mrs. Wilson's. Oh, don't start me. Mrs. Rhodes. Fairfax Road. True as God, it's come back to me now. You had to get to the ground in the morning. We could take a shortcut. There was a beautiful school out in front, and go across the schoolyard and down over the North Road to get to. Yeah. That's killed Ernest. That's killed him. Dear. Well, let me tell you a beautiful one too. But recently, Paddy Gavin came from the south of Ireland. Paddy came to England much older. And this brings up to the minute. Paddy Gavin told me, I'm from the north, remember, and he's from the south in this country. Paddy told me that if you learn to speak Gaelic, you could get a grant of £750. I went, this comes up to the modern day, I went to the library and got a book. I'm sitting in Mrs. Rhodes's in front of the mirror with this book in Gaelic, going, "Con this tattoo." So I learned to speak a bit of Gaelic, but I never get the 750 quid. Now this is something very tragic. Just a few years ago, I had to go to a big do, and there was a man called Martin McGuinness, I think you know who I mean. And by nature, they were all there, I walked straight past everybody, not intentionally, and walked up to him and said, because he wanted to be a goalkeeper and he had blonde curly hair. And I said to him, he said, "What are you doing?" Because he was the other way. I said, "Come as a tattoo." And he said, "Go on." I said, "Come as a tattoo, Tommy Gamite, Bria Costa Lucia." He said, "Where'd you learn that?" I said, "Tell you what, for 750 quid I had done anything in those days." He said, "There's 2 or 3 different dialects." I said, "I can only manage the one," and that was the late Martin McGuinness. Yeah, those are nice. They're a nice thing.